What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a handful of altcoins today. We're going to be going over XTZ, ABT, and DRGN for CELOS. Moving on to SAMO for Mr. Eggroll Man, Celestia for Jesus Juarez, Manta and SAVM for Chad Shee, finishing it all up with Rare and MLN for LOLOMO. Maybe it's low. I like to say LOLOMO. I feel like it rolls off the tongue, but LOLOMO, whatever. Anyways, we're doing all those cryptos right now. We're gonna get started on that. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different coins. All right, so XTZ, in my opinion, is probably like the best looking one so far. I haven't looked at any of these charts, but if I just remember correctly, XTZ was the best looking one. Kind of looks like it's in an uptrend right now, right? Higher lows, higher highs. You're at the bottom of that. I would expect that you would probably go back to this $1.20 area, potentially $1.30, $1.40 area even over time. I do think that you'll see some kind of move, up, basically exactly what I was just saying. Right around there. Maybe $1.36 to $1.43, something like that could be in the cards as well. Let's see. Here you did hit your 1272, so just all the more reason to kind of lean toward that. You might not, you might not go to your 1272. It's possible as well that you could just like stop somewhere here, come back down, and then move up. But all in all, it does look good for immediate continuation to the upside. You're just kind of consolidating, accumulating around this resistance area. And then when you break it, you're going to be moving up. Weekly or the daily RSI is neutral. It's not really giving me too much, but I don't hate it. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like necessarily good either, but the price action does look good. I don't know if I have anything else I want to say. Weekly RSI looks better than the daily RSI. I do like this kind of rounding out on the bottom here. $1.72 all the way up at your 382 there. Maybe you move up there, to be completely fair. I know that I had a lot lower price targets beforehand, but I mean, to be fair, you could see a deep extension. You could, even though you haven't seen that on any of these moves. Maybe it's time, because you are in this kind of more grand accumulation phase. I would think if you were going to move up here, you'd probably actually consolidate around these areas. So maybe you do, again, just kind of leaning back on that idea. I know I keep going back and forth, man, but I'm discovering my analysis as I'm giving it to you guys, right? I don't have it all planned out. I'm just going for it, and literally spitballing as I'm seeing it. Giving you my thoughts as they come. And generally, with this kind of look, this like grand accumulation range is what it looks like to me. Before you break out, generally you get toward the top of it, you consolidate, and then you break out, right? So it is possible that you could just go straight out right now. It is possible, but maybe you move up to this $1.20, $1.30 area, consolidate for a little bit. You could go a little bit above this high, but probably not too much higher than that high. And then later down the road, we can talk about you moving up to $1.72, but you'd probably move up even higher than that. You'd probably go like straight to your 0.5, because that's pretty close. This 382 area is pretty close to this overall range. I would think if you broke out of it, I mean, you could find resistance there, come back, test the point of breakout, and then move higher. Something like that could happen. That's for sure. But I guess we'll know whenever we get there. I don't know what the hell that is, man. I just found something that's on my shirt, apparently. Anyways, I blame my 2-year-old daughter. Anyways, that's XTZ. Let's move on from there to ABT. Arc block looking crazy, bro. Crazy, right? It's had the pullback that we've been looking for, right? Looks like it's probably going to continue to pull back. I doubt that's the end of it, right? Let's see. Relative low, nice double bottom, all the way up here. You're not even below your 236. So look for that 50 cent, 40 cent area probably. It's, it could happen. It could happen by the end of February. It could happen sometime in March or April even. This kind of move up. You move up super fast. I bet you're going to wig-wag your way down. You're not going to move down just like in a straight line. It's going to be boring, and it's gonna it's just gonna be boring, but it's gonna take its time, but probably down over time to that 50 to 40 cent area. Now don't be surprised, because with stuff like this, don't be surprised if before you go down to this area, right, somewhere in this zone, if you see a double top, right, and then you go down, or like you're moving down and then you move up, like you're not going to move in a straight line, I wouldn't assume, but nonetheless, I'm expecting that before you see this high being taken out, unless it's like a fake out, unless it's just like a slightly higher high, in which case it's still kind of a double top, before you see that really being taken out to a significant degree, you're probably going to go to that 40 to 50 cent area at least. Absolutely, you could go lower. If you were to go lower, look for this area around 20 cents, 22.27 cents, 17.66 cents, somewhere in that range. And that kind of would make sense too based on previous price history. I'm going off the minimum here though, because this is a pretty strong move. It is common enough to find support on the 382 after finding a strong move, and no doubt about it, that's a strong move. So we'll just see how it goes, but nonetheless, minimum, I would expect 40 to 50 cents. And everything in between is just noise. It's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, or it'll just go straight down, but not likely. There will be, it was a straight line up, it's probably going to be boring and like shaking people out all along the way down there, giving people false hopes, giving people moments of despair, stuff like that, but I do think you're working your way down. All right, that's ABT. Let's talk about Dragonchain on Gate.io, baby. Looking good, right? You've got your lower high here overall on the macro scale, but relatively speaking, you definitely are up. It looks like you're having that pullback we've been looking for too. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Maybe not. I forget what I said about this one last time. Maybe I was calling for it to go up higher. You did find support on your 236. You are finding resistance on your 069. I kind of would think you'd go at least to like 4.5 cents, that area, probably a little bit lower than that even. You could go all the way back to 3 cents. No shame in that at all, but probably lower from here. Looking at the weekly RSI, you kind of have this like double top, bearish divergence. Volume isn't really too impressive, but it's not like terrible. Daily RSI was hot. It would make sense to pull back from here. It really would. So probably goes down. Again, same kind of thing. Don't be surprised if you were to see the price, if it went down and then it came back up to here, like that doesn't mean it's over. That kind of stuff happens. So regardless, I do think that you're probably going to go in this area. Minimum target would be here, but with this one, I'm kind of expecting more that you see this 61869 area. Anything in between the 382 or 618 is game, but really that's kind of the area that I'm expecting you to go. So that's Dragonchain, lower nonetheless. SAMO, S-A-M-O. On Kraken, maybe? No, not that one. Okay. Mexi. Okay, Mexi has volume and historical data, so we'll go with that. All-time high to all-time low. 0.5 below your 382, finding resistance at your 382. I would expect you go to 00658. I'm very confident in that number, probably right around the 236. Found support here, found resistance here, found support here. You even back tested it here once you broke out, found support there. So although this 236 wasn't in existence because you hadn't found your low yet, but nonetheless, it corresponds with an area that's more or less significant from a price action perspective. So you're probably going lower. This one wasn't too hard, in my opinion. Yeah, the daily looks bearish, neutral but bearish. You got a flat base here, descending highs. You know the name, man. I said you know the name. You know the game. You're not getting a positive reaction off the screen line. I think it's just a matter of time before you break down. And again, that's probably going to be around 0.658 cents, somewhere around there. If you go lower, it's okay. I doubt that you take out this low and get new lows, but lower than this for sure. I think you're working. It's same kind of thing that I was saying about ABT. You moved up pretty fast, and now you're moving down pretty slow, right? And I mean, you didn't move up as fast as ABT did, but still, it's probably going to take time. It's not going to be like overnight that you get down there. And even once you find your low, it's probably not just going to shoot right up to the top there. You'll probably find your low, meander, and then well, maybe not even like that. Then you'll move up, move down, move up, move down, and blah blah blah. You never know what's going to happen, right? I'm just spitballing ideas, but nonetheless, I think it's going to that 236 area. Celestia, it is TIA. That's right. On Coinbase, it's older than that, right? I thought it was older than that. Is it not? Maybe I'm thinking of something else, man. My daughter dropped this mic earlier. She dropped it pretty hard, man, and it looks fine. Looks like you guys can hear me. This is my first time checking the sound. I should have done that at first, but it actually looks fine. So, yeah, that was something I was worried about. Man, she rocked this thing. I was a little bit upset, but what am I gonna do? Yell at a toddler? Like, it is what it is at that point. If all you can do is yell, why yell? Like, that's not gonna fix anything if that's all you can do. Little moment here. I don't know how this is gonna sound. I'm not trying to make it sound a certain way, but there's not too many people that I necessarily admire in life. Like, there's a few people. I admire Elon Musk, take it or leave it. Maybe some of you don't. But there's a man who's like an uncle to me. He's my best friend's uncle, and I asked him a question because I noticed that him and his wife, they never fought. I never saw them fight, at least, and I'm sure they fight. Every couple does, but I'm like, what's your secret? Like, you guys seem happy. You guys seem like the happiest couple I've ever seen. What's your secret? And he's like, you know what? I don't complain. He's like, and this is all in reference to my mic dropping. That's what geared this up, because it geared the thought. If all I can do is yell, like, why yell? Because he said, he's like, if all I can do is complain, what's the point of that? He's like, there's still going to be an issue. He's like, I can do something about it. I can suck it up and do something about it. He's like, but if I'm going to complain, he's like, what's that going to do? He's like, if all I can do is complain, like, that's not going to help anybody out. He's like, so I don't complain. He's like, if she has a request, I take care of that. If I have a request, she takes care of that. And then, I don't know, it stuck with me. To a certain point, I complain about things, right? I definitely do complain about things, more than he does, but I try to live a little bit like that, where it's like, if all you can do about something is just be negative about it, that's not helping you. It's not helping anybody. It's not getting the thing done. Maybe there's something that you need to get done, and it pisses you off or it annoys you that you have to get it done, but you still got to do it. So might as well have a good attitude. I don't know. Just a little side bit of conversation for anybody that needs to hear that. Maybe it was meant to be. I don't know. But anyways, getting back to the task at hand here, TIA. Looking at TIA. Rejecting the overbought zone here. Lower highs, lower lows. This RSI looks pretty bearish, man. Looks pretty bearish indeed. I bet you're going lower. Moving up higher. You got that double. This is exactly like what I was talking about with ABT and the other ones. You're moving down from here. If we were doing analysis on this just with how the RSI looks, I probably would have assumed that you go down. But if you move up, that doesn't mean that the downside is off the table. It just means it's put off for a little bit longer. That's all. Moving up with lower volume, like, not encouraging. Definitely not encouraging. So relative low to high here. I'd call that a fake out, so I'm not going to measure it from there. I mean, I guess we could measure this move, to be honest, see if it lines up with anything. 1272 right in the golden pocket there. 1618 hits a deeper tracement. You could go all the way back down, man. You really could. It's hard to say where this thing's going to go. If I was looking at it just from a price perspective, a couple of key areas that stand out would be right here. Yeah, probably all those levels there. Best case scenario around 1140. Medium case scenario around $8.50, and potentially you could go all the way down to $6, maybe even lower. Truthfully, you could go even lower, 540. I doubt that you would return all the way back here. I really do doubt that, but you never know. But probably likely somewhere in this area is what I would look for. Yeah. That makes sense to me. Again, anywhere between, it's a big range, but there's not a lot of historical data for this thing. It's new, so I don't have too much to base it off of. But what I can say is you had a lot of volume back here in this kind of consolidation pocket. So it wouldn't be crazy, you know, if you went fine tune it, if you went here, right? Your volume started to die off as you were up here, but that was kind of the last, like these areas were the last areas that you saw significant volume. So maybe you do find support in this area. But somewhere in between $11.41 to $6 really is what I would expect that you're going to do. You probably find support here. Just because you bounce off of any of these lines doesn't mean that you're going up to the heavens. You know, you could find support, test back at an area where you found support before, found resistance before even, and then reject that and then go lower. That's very normal stuff. So don't get excited just because you find support on a certain area. Nonetheless, I think it's going lower. All that to say, probably like very confidently that is your all-time high for the foreseeable future, probably for multiple months, probably for it, again, same thing with all these things. It's not going to happen overnight. Now, with how drawn out this has been, with how like sloped over this has been, when you finally do start to move down, it might be a little bit like laggard, and then you might have one flash crash or something like that to kick things off. But ultimately, to get down to this area, it's not gonna happen fast. It's probably gonna be several months, at least multiple months away from today. That's my opinion. So I can be wrong. Time analysis is not my strong suit. Price analysis is. So let's just stick with that $6 to $11.40 area is what I'm thinking. So that's TIA, Celestia, Manta, Chad Sheet. I don't know if you saw, but I did a video on this one recently. In like an altcoin showdown video. It might have been when I did like two of them. I did two altcoin showdown videos in a day because I did one with more like relative cryptos and then one with like less heard of cryptos, you know, for people interested. So maybe you didn't see it, or maybe you did see it and you just want another video. But either way, you requested it, so we're doing it today. I feel like I'm mumbling. I feel like I'm not talking clearly. So I apologize for that. Looking good on your 4 hour. This thing has not existed for a long time, so that's really all we can have. That's all we can say for it. If this was like a daily or a weekly chart, this would look really nice actually, right? You're moved down, you had your whole bear market, you're accumulating here, but this is on a 4 hour, so who knows how strong or how long this up move will be, but I do think you're going higher. Relatively immediately, like over the days, over the weeks, man. It's a really nice looking move. Yeah, it's okay that you got below the 236. You're looking like you're battling to get back above it now. If you can get above it, I would think that you know, it's free game up to like $3.30, potentially $3.40, somewhere in that area. Here you are at 276 now. To be fair, you did find resistance at a previous area of support. That's not encouraging. I just really like the RSI. I really do like the RSI. And also, to be fair, you found support at a previous area of resistance. So you're doing your thing. You can definitely see that out of this whole move down, right? I'll get rid of the fib. Out of this whole move down, this little part here looks different, right? Like it just looks different. So maybe with that you're going to get different results. Maybe with the fact that you're showing strength, you're bouncing off your 50 here, looking very constructive on your 4 hour RSI, you'll get different results. I don't know. It would make sense to me. And where are those results going to take you? Probably again around 330 to around 340, something like that. That's Manta. Let's talk about SAVM. SAVM. Is this it? Satoshi VM. I feel like I've heard of this, and I've heard not good things. You know, a lot of people are calling it a scam, so it'll probably do very well. Because I've never actually looked at this thing, but I've heard of it, and that's probably, I don't know. Normally it's the coins nobody wants to see succeed that do very well. And here it is, of course, having a hell of a debut, dumping down. The daily RSI, like you can't really do TA on something like this, man. Yes, you know, kind of similar thing as to what I was saying on the last one. This part does look different than the rest of it, but, you know, I don't know if I would look at it like that, man. Maybe. You do have ascending highs. You do have a flat top. Those were horribly drawn lines, but you can see what I'm going for, right? You can see it with like your naked eyes, right? That is a good looking bottoming pattern. The 4 hour RSI is all over the place. I don't really like it, but I don't hate it. It's neutral. The price is neutral, so that's what you get. Yeah, I don't know. It probably moves up from here. If I had to guess, it probably does. Not financial advice. I'm not buying this. I wouldn't recommend anybody buy it, but I've said those exact words about things that I later did buy and had really good results with. So who knows if this is one of them, but I'm not swayed yet by it. You haven't given me enough to sway me. Top to bottom here. And I know, that's not the top. That's the top. But to be fair, this is like first day mania. I don't know. Maybe we can draw it from here. Let's just see. Fine. Yeah, I actually do like that. You'd probably move up to about 547. Here you are at 324 right now. With how much respect you're showing on the 236, you even showed respect on your 069. I would expect that you find respect. I would expect respect on the 382. You can go a little bit above it. Just because you go a little bit above it doesn't mean it's off to the races yet. But I bet you would find resistance there, not only because it's the 382, but if we take the fib away, it's also a previous area of resistance here. So that would make sense. And if you went a little bit above it, just like this one did here, because remember that white line is where the 382 is. This is the actual top resistance point, support point. You could go between like 550 to 590, something like that, and then chill for a little bit longer, get ready for your next move up. Maybe you pull back down. It's like $4, $3.50, something like that. But up, I think it wants to go up from here. And this is the 4 hour, so probably rather immediately, days to weeks. Let's talk about rare. Rare. Super rare. I think that's what it's called, super rare. Super rare. Reminds me of super bad. Let's see. Kraken, crypto. Okay, went down. Binance. Hey, there we go. Nice volume. I'll give you that. Yeah, really nice volume. Hoo-hoo, I like that, man. I do like that. Somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders, kind of, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. It's a very big head, though. But nonetheless, you know, what you did was you had this nice rounded bottom, a very nice breakout move to the upside with solid volume. You could be potentially finding support where you found support before and then getting ready to move up. You would move up pretty substantially, at least to there, literally like at least to that level. You're at 10 cents now. This is talking about like a potential 2 to 3 to 4x, something like that, man. Absolutely. Being that this is on the weekly, it could take weeks or months to achieve that. I think you're probably coming close to it, though. You're at the 50 area where you could find support and bounce from. Daily RSI doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good. It's just neutral. Price has been neutral. It's kind of what you get. Low to high. Let's see. You could move back to 8 cents if you wanted to. You could. It's hard to say. This daily RSI isn't giving me anything. The price action isn't really giving me anything either. I am under the impression that overall it's getting ready for a move up. It is. But maybe, just maybe, you go to this line, if not a little bit below it. That's at 8.86 cents. You could be moving down to 8 cents, a little bit below that. And yes, you could move below that and still be fine. But I kind of would expect that you'd hold that line, if not this line even, between 9.3 to 8.8 cents, somewhere in there. That would make sense to me. And you kind of already tipped it. I don't know. Get above this week on a closing basis. Close above, what is that? 11.55 cents. Close above that, and then I'm sold. I'm convinced that you're not going lower. You are getting ready to move up higher. Again, probably to that like around 40 cent area. Yeah. Not a lot to go off of. I think the weekly is postured well, but it could take time. In that time, you could go down a little bit. That's all I'm really trying to say. So that's rare MLN. This one's enzyme, right? Enzyme. That's what you said. Weekly RSI looks kind of nice. Price action doesn't look bad. There we go. There we go. Wow, this thing's been around for a while. Why? I've never heard of this, man. Melon? It's the same symbol, so I'm assuming. Enzyme. Is that 1747? Yeah. Yeah, it works. Okay. I've never heard of Melon, man, but this thing's been around for a while. It looks like it's in an accumulation phase. Solid volume. Not really though, but it's not non-existent, you know, it's there. Come on now. Sometimes in these areas of accumulation you get spotty volume like this, you know, little spikes and then it's boring and then spikes and then it's boring. It's actually fairly common. I mean, I like it. I doubt you go below. I mean, you could go below that low, but I doubt it. I think you're in like an established, you're trying to establish a range here. It might not look like it, but your range is like between about $30 and technically, I mean, I'd actually say about $15 and $30 there. Maybe even higher than that, you know, like kind of where you are now. I don't know. Couldn't even hit your 618. That's bullish. You don't have to hit your 618, but that is bullish to, you know, in between the 0.5 and the 618 like that, that is pretty bullish. If it holds, if you can get above that 382, really maintaining prices above the 0.5 would be the first step, but kind of having a hard time with this one if you can't tell. The daily RSI isn't giving me anything either. These ones, man, Lolo Mo, LOLO Mo, these are not easy ones, man. I want to say this one goes up. I want to say it looks like it wants to move up. You kind of have this channel, right? Like a little channel right here. Highs, lows, whatever. Yes, you're in like a downward channel, but I think really what you're in is in a range. So you're probably going to work your way up to that $30 area, but you're not going to break out from there. You're probably going to be in this range for a little while. For months, multiple months, several months. So boring with an upside tilt is what I would have to say. Though I guess going up to $30 from here wouldn't be too boring, would it? But it's probably not going to happen overnight is all I'm trying to say. I guess it could. We've done that once. Looks like you like some big wicks to the upside, so maybe, but not sustained anyways. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got for this video. So if you liked the video, hit that like button. If there was a winner, I don't know if there's a winner, man. Honestly. Could be this one. I don't know. Yeah, they all, a lot of them look like they want to go down, but there's a couple, I forget which one. There was another one, I don't remember if it was Samo or if it was SAVM. I forget which one it was. But there was another one that looked like it wanted to go up, relatively speaking, maybe down a little bit first, but then up. But I forget which one it was. So, anyways, that's it, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day, a good night, wherever you are, and bye-bye.